could have existed forever. You don't want in the beginning, it says it.
So you're saying it's impossible if I logically made that up. That's not an established fact. Yeah? How do you know the universe is not infinite if you go in one direction? How do you know that?
We wouldn't be here right now.
Oh really? We wouldn't be here if the universe was infinite. The two things have got nothing to
That
do
means
with
our
each
past.
other.
Excuse me, sort of our past. That means our past.
The
is
universe
infinite,
could be
right?
finite, the universe could be infinite. Neither of these things prove we exist or don't exist or could
The
exist or couldn't
infinite
exist.
universe, we have an infinite past, right?
So what?
So how can the infinite be traversed? How can we come here right now? How can we
But
be
just
here?
because we started to exist at a given point,
Yeah.
why didn't we happen at the beginning? Is that what you're asking me? So why did we happen at a different time? Bro, any time we existed, we'd still be saying to ourselves, guess what? There was infinity before us and there's infinity after us. What difference does it make? We're here now and that's why you're
Nothing
asking.
moves. In infinity, nothing can move. Time cannot move.
Bro, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm
You
being honest
do.
with you. No, I'm not an
You
expert
do.
in these things. But trust me, you are not
I
going wrong
can't
with it.
trust you. Is that
You
what you're
don't,
saying?
you don't have to trust me.
Is that what you're
Just
saying?
think
Just
about what
trust
you're
you.
saying. Just think about what you're saying. Your
I
whole
said, give me an
point.
example.
Your whole point was that the universe definitely had a beginning. I said to you, no, that's not an established fact. There's a possibility it could have existed forever, and there's a possibility it had a beginning. These are both up in the air. Yeah?
I said, if
You are the one that seems to think you know for sure the universe definitely had a beginning. I said to you, no, it's a possibility it could be infinite. You have a problem with infinity.
Stop it.
Am I wrong? Or am I wrong?
You're right. No one knows.
No one knows, brother.
the
Why are you
exclusive
making
code.
claims about things that
can
not
get
even
it.
the world's greatest
Give it to
scientists
me.
or
I
mathematicians
think
claim to
No,
know?
you're
None of them.
the fella.
None of them have
Okay,
ever
I
claimed
can
that.
deal with
for you, you're talking about Achilles and the tortoise. So what's that all about then? Can you explain that?
Bro, I gave you,
No,
I
no,
gave
no,
you
no.
ample
Don't
opportunities.
run away, don't escape.
Bro, I
Don't
gave
try
you
to escape.
ample opportunities to tell me how to refute that point. You said you didn't know.
So you're
You
telling
said
me
refer to the
mathematicians-
mathematicians.
So are you telling me mathematicians haven't come up with a
Bro,
solution for that?
some mathematicians say
I'm
some
asking
things,
you.
some mathematicians say other things.
I
Who are
think
you
there's a
talking
general
about?
consensus. I think
No,
there is
there's not a general consensus.
I think there is.
Bro, if you know so much about it, explain it.
Okay, I'll get the information and I'll come back another week and I'll
It's correct though.
How about that?
All I'm saying to
That's
you,
fine.
all right,
I said I don't have
even that
information
specific
right now.
point is irrelevant.
No, it's
The whole,
not. No, you can't escape. I know what you guys try to do. You
Bro,
can't escape.
I've said this to you a number of times.
You can't escape.
I've said this to you a number of times, yeah? You said to me the universe definitely had a beginning. I said to you, I don't accept that. There's a possibility it had a beginning, and there's a possibility it existed forever. You then said that infinity cannot exist,
In
ever.
the real world. No, I said
Right,
in the real world.
in the
Didn't
real
I say
world
in the real
ever. In the real world
Yes,
ever.
yes,
Yeah?
yes.
So that's your argument
Yeah.
for somehow the universe couldn't have existed forever because infinity can't exist in the
Yeah,
real world.
yeah.
I'm saying to you that both of those things are just
Then
silly.
I asked you to give me an example of
And I
infinity.
did give you an example.
And you said, you gave me...
I gave you the whatever you say, Achilles and the
Achilles
tortoise.
and the tortoise,
I can give
yeah.
you more examples.
So what I'm trying to
I'll
say
give
is
you more examples, but
that's
the
been
point
debunked
I said
by mathematicians.
I said
Mathematicians
pi,
come up
the
with
number
a
of pi,
solution.
the relationship between
You know that, right?
the relationship between the radius.
You know about if it's a finite distance, can be split up into infinite parts.
Yes.
But mathematicians have come up with a solution for that, and they've come up with the
What's the
equation.
solution?
There is no solution for that because they can't count to infinite parts. Personally, they
I
can't
don't think you
observe.
understand the concept.
They can observe
Okay, I don't
infinite
think you
things.
understand the concept of the...
And you can slice up a one into a million for million for billion for trillion for trillion for trillion for trillion.
But just because you couldn't physically count them doesn't mean you couldn't do it. On principle.
So if you can complete the distance, can that distance be infinite?
No one said the distance was infinite. What are you talking about? That's got nothing to do
So
with
the
the point.
distance isn't infinite.
Bro, if that's what you thought I said or meant,
Yeah.
that's fucking embarrassing.
So what did you think?
Infinite can't
So
be
explain
measured as
it.
Bro, are you serious?
Yeah,
You're
explain.
standing here shouting at me and acting
not
like I'm
shouting.
some sort of
Who's
idiot,
shouting?
telling me that I need to check things and you're going to come back next week and... Bro,
not shouting.
please, just think about what you're saying. Nobody ever claimed that the distance was infinite. I started off by saying you're 2 meters away. What's a finite distance?
Alright, yeah, finite distance. Okay, then where did infinite come into it?
You don't understand that?
You did? You did?
Are you jumping on that bandwagon?
No, but you
You're
did.
going to embarrass yourself
I'm not
now.
embarrassing. You did give that an example as infinite, and then you give
Yeah,
that
I did.
distance,
yeah,
and I just thought that
yeah,
doesn't
I
make
did.
sense.
You did, it didn't make sense, did it?
No, because
Oh,
you did
shit.
say, I'm going to explain to you what infinite is.
Yeah, no, he said to me that infinite cannot possibly exist in any way in the real world.
You
Yeah?
said I proved to you that it does exist.
Yeah, it does.
And then you did that walking distance.
And you didn't understand it?
No, I didn't.
Really? I think I'm not the one that needs to go and study up on these things. I think maybe you do. do.
Isn't it better for you to explain better rather than just...
I did. I spent 10 minutes explaining it.
No, you didn't. You were just waffling on. You didn't really explain anything.
All right,
did
well,
you?
I'm sorry if you think that. I've done my best to educate you on some basic ideas. You've refused to listen. You've turned around and told me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I never claimed that 2 meters is infinite.
What did you claim? What was your claim?
I claimed the number of steps. If you increment by half, the number of steps will be infinite to get to the 2 meters. You still don't seem to understand that.
If it's a finite distance, if you still
The number of steps.
finite
If
distance,
you keep breaking something in half and half and half and half,
that's what you're saying.
yeah. When would you have to stop?
There would be no stop.
Right. Are we getting somewhere? I mean, we're
That
getting
is not
somewhere.
actual. That is not actual.
Bro, what are you talking about? We're talking about the physical world. How is
Yes.
it not actual?
Because you can actually walk past. You can complete the distance, can't you? If you can complete the distance, then obviously it's not infinite number
You know
of
about the
steps, is
golden
it?
ratio? Do you
If
know-
I
yeah,
can complete
what are
2
you guys talking
meters,
about?
then obviously it's not an infinite number of steps, is it? Is it an infinite number of steps if I can complete the
Bro,
amount?
you were here lecturing me about mathematics.
No.
Do you remember I
2
said
meters.
increment by half? The first step is 1 meter, the second step is half a meter, the third step is a quarter of a meter, the fourth step is an eighth.
Can you complete the distance? Can you complete the distance, yes or no?
Absolutely. This is my point.
I'm asking you, can
this
you
is my
complete the
point. It would take an infinite number of steps to get to 2
No,
meters.
it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, because I can just walk
Put
past.
this up, put this video.
Just walk past.
Yeah. You could just walk past, yeah? And
Sure.
just,
2
given,
meters.
given that I said to you that one important aspect of it is you're taking steps at the increment of a half. The first step will be 1 meter. The second step will be half a meter. The third step will be a quarter of a meter. The fourth step will
Then
be...
you did say you're giving me examples in the real world, didn't you?
It's a Fibonacci.
Is that not in the real world?
If you told me this
Yeah, I was trying to think of that.
if you told me that this is an example in the real world,
Are we not in the real world? Am I not talking about something between me and you standing on Earth?
Yeah, but if I can still traverse it, I can still complete
So
it.
the point has got nothing to do with an infinite amount of space. Why can't you understand this, brother?
it's
Yeah,
steps.
you're a grown man. I shouldn't
And
have to
they're hard.
explain this. Bro,
Exponentially. It's a logarithm, an algorithm. It could go on forever.
when
What
you
is
started
it?
talking about maths, I actually thought you'd done more than a GC, well, more than bloody primary school. Bro, you're embarrassing yourself. You really, really need to understand what we're talking about.
you know what?
Nobody
Go
claimed
home.
the distance was infinite. I've said that to you 5 times
But
now.
you were giving me example in the real world, weren't you? What you were saying, you said this is an example in the real world. You was giving me an example in the real world, and now he's saying, he's giving me that example in the real world, and I'm saying that doesn't hold true in the real
It's
world.
not in the real world, is it?
No, it isn't, because it's theoretical. What you're saying is theory.
And what you're saying is not, yeah?
Expressing the infinite
I
in the real
used-
world
come
would
on.
take an infinite amount of time.
Exactly. Infinity
logic.
is a process, yeah? Infinity is not a number. You're here acting as if I should give you a number that's infinity.
continuous.
Infinity is a process that will never ever end. That's it.
I understand what you're saying.
Really?
If the distance can be traversed, then what does that tell you about
Right.
infinity? What does
Can the
it-
number of steps be traversed? Can the number of steps be
Yes,
traversed?
in the real world it can.
Right, do it then, innit? Take steps to me at the increment of half.
Sorry. The number of steps
Right,
can't.
well,
The
this-
distance can though.
How many times do I meant to explain to you? Nobody's talking about the distance. Nobody claimed the distance was infinity. The distance is 2 meters. I said that straight away. Yeah? The number of steps is infinite.
Yes, but that doesn't relate to the real world though.
Why? Because you say so.
No, because if we do an experiment, if you stand, if
If we do an experiment, it will take forever, and then I'll be proved that it was infinity. This is what I'm saying, bro. It's like these people, you need to really focus,
What do you mean by
brother.
these people?
You need to
Wait,
focus.
what do you mean by these people?
People who don't want to listen. Those people.
I'm not listening to you.
Well, you're not trying to listen. You're just trying to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm
You've
trying to
been
help you,
talking
brother.
way more than I
Bruv,
have.
I'm trying to help you because you're lacking in some basic skills of understanding numbers and what it's all about. I'm serious, brother. I'm not trying to be rude. Yeah, I'm genuinely being honest with you. You said to me that the universe definitely began to exist.
If you go home, you go onto YouTube, and then you look at that maths problem, and then you see that they've come up with a solution. No.
There's a number
Hold
of
on,
people
hold on,
who
hold
have
on.
criticised it
Hold
and
on.
said different things about it,
No.
and there's a number of people who have still supported it on the basis that it does demonstrate a type of infinity. Right? We're not talking. You never came here and said to me, "Show me an infinite thing. Show me an infinite number of stuff." You didn't ask me that. You said infinity cannot exist in any way, shape,
No,
or
I
form
did not say
in
that.
the real world.
Yeah, in the real world. Yeah, it can't
Did you
exist
say
in the
that?
real
I
world. yeah.
repeat. You said to me, infinity cannot exist in any way, shape, or form in
I
the
didn't say
real
any
world.
way, shape,
All right,
or form,
cannot
but
exist at all
cannot
in
exist,
any
yeah.
way
Yeah, fair
in the
enough.
real world.
Yeah, that's what I said,
The
yeah.
reason why you said that to me is because you claimed that the universe had a beginning. I said to you, that's not a proven fact. It could have
That's got nothing
existed.
to do with me believing.
No, it has. It has.
I'm
You
telling you it doesn't. That's not why I believe it.
Bro, I'm explaining to you what's happened here today. In the
So
last
explain to me what I
I'm
believe.
explaining to you. No, I'm explaining to you what happened here in the last half an hour, and that is you claim the universe definitely had a beginning. I said to you that's not a proven fact. It could have existed forever, and it could have had a beginning. Both things are up in the air. You said to me no, it couldn't have existed forever because infinity cannot exist in the real world. So I said to you, infinity can exist in the real world, but we'll never be able to measure it. We'll never be able to do the steps of counting it because it will take forever because it's infinity, yeah? So I gave you an example of the number of steps it would take. If I was to go from here to you 2 meters, taking half, at the increment of half, I showed you that it'd be an infinite number of steps
And
to
I
get
told
to 2
you
meters.
mathematicians have already come up with a solution.
And
to
I
that,
told
you're
you-
saying they haven't.
Tell me the solution.
I'm saying mathematicians have
Tell
come,
me the
I don't know the
solution.
solution right now because I'm not that good at maths, but they've come up with a solution. They have come up with a solution for it.
Bro,
so do you believe that they
Some
haven't?
people have come up to objections to what that
And what's the
thing-
objection?
Bro, you're the one putting this
I'm
out
asking
there.
you.
I'm
You
not,
said
I'm not
there's
going to
an
put your
objection,
views
right?
out there for you.
No,
I
you said
know
there's an objection, right?
Yes,
What's the
I-
objection?
Bro, this is your work.
You
This is
made
your
a
homework.
claim.
This is your homework,
He's
yeah?
the one that said there's an objection.
Bro, this
right?
is
Well,
your
you said
homework.
that the mathematicians have come up with
Yeah,
a...
this is your homework. I'm telling you that some mathematicians have criticized that, yeah? But they cannot criticize it as demonstrating that infinity exists in the real world in terms of a number of steps, in terms of a number of processes, just not a physical amount or number of things to be counted. Even that, it might well be, because we don't know if the universe is infinite. Yeah? So even infinity might exist out there, and it might exist in here, it might exist inside our cells and our DNAs.
Yeah.
We don't know these things. But what I can tell you is the number of steps it would take from me to traverse 2 meters, if I did it at the increment of a half, would definitely lead to an infinite number of steps. It's logic.
But you know when you look back into the real world, right? And we see we can at least complete that distance, right? You believe we can complete
Not
the
doing
distance.
it the way I said.
No, not doing it the way you say, but
Yeah,
doing
if
it
I
at a
take a
normal
really long
pace.
step, that's
sure,
2 meters,
yeah,
yeah.
sure, you can complete it, right?
Yeah.
Then you still believe that that distance between that can be infinite, right?
Not the distance.
Well,
Don't be getting it.
Not the distance. The number of steps.
Yeah, meaning the distance.
No!
Come on.
Steps is a
The
different...
number of distance broken up into little segments, right? And keep on
Yeah, but
going half,
the
half.
length of those distances is becoming half and half and half
Yeah,
every
but
time.
it's the same distance, isn't it? From A to B, right?
No, it's not just for each step.
No, the complete
The
thing is from A
complete
to B,
thing
right?
is 2 meters.
Sure, A to B.
Yes.
A to B. So you're saying that distance can be split up into infinite parts, right? But I'm saying, fair enough, on that level, yes, but then when we see we can actually complete the distance in the real world, then doesn't that make you think, can it really be
Can't,
infinite?
Because you can't make it in the real world because it's infinite. With those steps are infinite. The distance may be 1 foot, yeah? Which, okay, you say in the real world, if you take 1 foot, 1 step to make that 1 foot, yes, you can. But if you've got to take infinite numbers of steps, it will be going on forever to reach that end of what you're trying to
Imagine
reach
this,
to.
yeah. If I put a ring around my finger and I spin it around, yeah?
Yeah.
How many times can it go around? If I just do this forever, how many
Yeah.
times will it go around?
Infinite
go
number
around
of times,
forever,
right?
innit?
Yeah, sure.
That's that. Just because somebody's not going to be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, it doesn't mean if in principle someone did this forever, the thing would go around forever. That would be infinite, isn't it?
But it wouldn't be possible, would it?
Yeah, but what I'm
Physically, right?
what I'm telling you is that even this is not going to be possible because we all know that nobody's going to live forever to be able to verify infinity, are they?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. That's why I said it's all a theory, isn't it?
No, it's not all a theory.
It's a fact.
I will agree to disagree on that one. Yeah.
Sorry if I was rude to you, brother.
it's
yeah?
alright.
It's all love.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
Quite as well.
yeah.
You were rude.
Nah, I was a bit rude, but I got a bit
Well,
frustrated.
You know what? You was talking about distance and you were talking about steps.
Steps, yeah, we're talking about
That
different
was
things.
the problem.
But it's the same concept, though, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Because what you're saying is because what you're
It's how
saying.
you're dividing it up.
It's not.
Yeah, but it's
Look,
still-
my point is, I could make infinity from a millimeter. If you split a millimeter by half, and then you split that one by
I understand
half.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I
The
used to think
distance is
about this.
irrelevant.
I used to think about this and I used to be like, there's no way. They used
Okay.
to get my mind. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, it is infinite. But then
I
I,
used to
saw
think that as well
then I
many,
saw
many years ago.
mathematicians have actually come up with a solution for
Bro,
this.
I used to think exactly that many years ago as well, but trust me, there's a lot
Because
more
I used to be
reading.
like, yeah, because you can just
There's
keep
a lot
on
more reading out
halving
there.
it.
There's a
Like
lot more
same
reading out
thing
there.
with time. You see time.
same with time.
If you
Exactly
split
the
a
same.
second and you keep on splitting it,
Yeah.
then that means there's no movement, is there?
Why not?
Because if you can split a second, right, into like frames, let's say frames, you can split that further and further and further and keep on going, then there's no movement. If you eventually go down
there is
to
movement,
If you
it's
got
very
to
slow.
zero,
No.
If you got
going
to
down,
when you get to zero,
Very
it'll be
slow.
no.
then whatever you're thinking is very slow. Split that again.
Yeah, when you
I
get
know,
to
and then
zero.
it'd be very, very slow.
Yeah, exactly.
And then very,
Exactly,
very,
he's
very,
right,
very,
he's
and
right,
then very,
he's
very,
right,
very, very,
he's
very,
right.
very, very.
He's right. If you get to zero,
I
then
work
you're
with
right.
frames
If you
per
get
second.
if you get to the speed of zero, meaning like you've cut down time to literally nothing, then you're right. It will be frozen. But that's what we're saying is
No, I
only
mean
at
for
the end
human
step.
perception-
That's the infinite
I
step.
mean, but for human perception, it's already
Alright, I'll
already
give you an
like,
example.
Human perception doesn't make it accurate perception.
Yeah,
You
we've been
know,
learning. Our
that's just our
perception
But
changes.
for us, it would be like there's no movement, isn't it? Wouldn't
For
it?
us,
Of course,
maybe.
already it seems like that.
Yeah,
The ball,
maybe.
sometimes the ball throws past your eyes so fast you didn't even see it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it didn't go past. We've got tools and cameras to catch things at 1,000 frames a second. Yeah, 1,000 frames a second. Can you
That's
imagine
faster.
how much detail they're capturing? Yeah,
No,
every
even more than that.
even more.
10,000.
Every
They did like
10,000 with the Phantom.
50,000
was it
or
50?
something.
Oh fucking hell! I'm talking about what I learned from 5 years
They
ago.
done that.
Is it
Got
100,000?
like,
Ultra speed photography, innit?
yeah,
They've
it's
done
a
that for a
Phantom.
million or something as well. Yeah, they've done all
But
these
there you
steps.
go. This is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we're saying to you is
I
that
understand.
it would seem like at some point you've got like this is the smallest time could possibly. This is the smallest you could break time into. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can just break it down again.
But you
can't
could. Just our tools are limiting us. One day there will be scientists who say, no, actually, 1,000 years from now, people look back and say, guess what? They only could do 50,000 frames per second.
Yeah,
There was some
that's what you're
caveman technology out there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. That the human understanding of all these concepts will keep evolving. It will keep changing as we develop new tools. We'll look at the world better. Then we'll learn more. Then we'll build better tools with that understanding. Then we'll look at the world more and we'll learn more. And then we'll build better tools. This is what keeps happening. And what you say about infinity, I swear to you, bro, I used to think the same thing. Yeah? And then I learned about things and I changed my mind.
What made you change your mind then?
About what?
About infinity? About the way that, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, to be honest with you, yeah,
Because this.
I'll be honest
actually
with you. This point about whether infinity exists or doesn't is irrelevant. It doesn't make no difference to whether a God exists or doesn't exist. It's a nonsense point. There's no point arguing about it. If we were mathematicians and we were writing books and lecturing students and actually carrying the world of mathematical understanding somehow, we should be debating this. We should be getting fucking hammer and nails at it, me and you, yeah, to find out what's really going on. But the fact is, we're not mathematicians. Yeah? We're just two guys who've read a couple of books or thought a few things,
but
and
it's
we're
just-
trying to, you know,
It's just the
flesh out
concept
ideas.
of this universe being infinite. I can't grasp that
But why
concept.
not?
Well, you're not meant to.
Do you know what I mean?
You could grasp it in your lifetime anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's like.
It's
You
like
can't really picture infinity. You
can't. No one can't. Some
But
things
that
we
doesn't mean
just
it don't
can't
exist.
grasp.
Yeah,
Just
some
like
things is beyond us.
I can't flap my arms and fly, you know.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
things
exactly.
we just can't do.
Yeah, bro, it's
Yeah,
right.
we just got to
It's
accept
right.
it.
Yeah.
No, but that's logical. We understand why we can't fly,
Well,
right?
there's a lot of logical things
No.
what we
Why
can't
can
do.
birds fly and we can't?
Because they got wings. They designed, right?
Good answer. Good answer.
We got wings.
Yeah, but then
We
tell
got
me
wings.
why can't the
Have
universe?
wings and then tell me you
alright,
can't.
Well,
Like,
you
give
don't
me,
have,
give me an answer. as solid
you
as
don't
that.
live infinitely,
Yeah.
so how would you
No,
understand
but he said
infinitely?
a good point.
I know,
You
it's a
give
good-
me-
it was
but,
just a
but give
rhetorical
me something
question.
as logical as that for why the universe can't exist. Yeah, no, we said why it can't. How you doing, bro? You right, yeah?
then repeat that.
He said he can't fly, and I said to you, and you said, well, that's not logical. And I said, but birds can fly, and you say, oh, but they've got wings.
Yeah.
Now, give me something, the same type of logic for when we say the universe can be infinite, and you say, no, it can't. Give us the same type of logic that birds ain't got wings, and birds got wings, they can fly, human beings ain't, we can't. Give us the same type of logic for why the universe can't be infinite.
I'm saying the universe can't be infinite because of every moment in time, right? Had to be like
So
for
what?
us to get
So
here
what?
right
So
now,
what?
right?
Why couldn't it have gone on forever backwards? That's what infinity is. All you're saying is, I don't believe infinity exists because I don't believe infinity exists. Yeah, because you're just saying every moment in time must have happened before us, therefore infinity can't exist. But that's all we're saying anyway.
Okay, doesn't there need to be a trigger, right? Doesn't there need to be a trigger?
No, there
Something
doesn't.
that's existed forever doesn't need a trigger. That's
For
the
you,
whole point.
for you to understand it, it may need a trigger. Just like for you to understand a bird to fly, it may need wings.
Yeah, an
you understand
explanation,
certain things are comfortably understood to fit in our construct.
Yeah, and, intuitive. Some things are
Yeah,
intuitive to
intuitive
us.
as
If I
well.
wanted to touch you,
Yeah.
but then he has to touch me in order for me to touch
Bro,
you.
I
And
know,
it keeps
I
on
know,
going.
I know.
Then can you explain that?
Yeah, of course I can.
That's
I can explain
Okay,
that, and I
okay.
tried to explain it earlier.
Okay,
Yeah,
man.
I'll do it again, but please pay attention.
Alright,
Yeah.
alright, go ahead.
Now, the problem of infinite regress only occurs because some people insist that something exists outside of the universe.
Okay, figure out that. You know the concept I just
Bro,
gave
I
you?
have to do this because
Alright.
otherwise you won't understand why this all happened. Now, if we were all to say the universe exists and we don't know why, we would never have an infinite regress problem because nobody has invented a magical explanation
Nobody
for
knows,
it.
really.
Yeah? We're just all accepting that we don't know. Yeah?
Okay.
The minute a believing person says something created the universe, now we have an infinite
But
regress
it's not just
problem.
believers that
Then
believe
the
this.
trouble start.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not just theists that believe this.
Tell me who else believes it.
I know some people that are not really
Deists?
religious. And
No,
they-
spiritual people, deists who believe in some kind of higher power, but they won't call it a name.
So you're saying
They're
someone
just-
that just can't believe
Someone
in the
that just
creation
can't,
of the universe.
yeah, someone who can't accept that the universe just exists and might not have a separate explanation.
Yeah.
They invent the
So
infinite
it
regress
doesn't have
problem.
to be theists. It could be
Anybody,
anyone.
anybody,
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
anybody who says something definitely exists outside of the universe, they invent the infinite regress problem because we would say the universe is what it is, and one day we'll find out the explanation for why and what it is. Yeah, one day hopefully we will. Maybe we never will. Theists will say, no, we already know the explanation. It's this thing outside of the universe, and then we say, okay, your claim is that the universe exists, therefore something created it. We're going to say to you, your God exists, therefore something created it. Then they say, oh, you can't do that. We can do that to the universe, but we can't do that to God because otherwise we have the infinite regress problem. It's a problem of your own making.
Okay,
None of us have to explain infinite regress, but we will because
yeah.
you guys seem to think it's a big issue.
Alright.
The fact is, it only occurs as a problem because you lot invented a magical explanation in the first place. And then you said, our magical explanation doesn't need any other explanation.
I think
Do you
it's
understand?
human nature invention of God because we're scared
Yeah.
of dying. So we're scared of dying, then we invent a God. He's a Christian, he's a Muslim, he's a Hindu. It's an invention of human being. We invent the God.
Yeah.
It's
I have to
human
agree.
Invention.
Thousands of years ago, people were scared. They
scared
didn't
of
know
dying.
lightning.
Even now, we're scared
Yeah,
of
they
dying.
were,
I'm
they,
scared
people
of
were
dying.
dying.
I don't want
They're
to
like,
die.
"Oh."
Do you know of any group of people or any civilization that doesn't believe in a supernatural?
Yeah.
Can you name
Buddhist.
No. I mean in history. What do you mean Buddhists? Buddhists believe in
They
supernatural.
believe.
They believe some spirit.
Nature.
They
They
believe,
believe.
they believe in nature.
And they follow that.
They believe in the unity of nature, and they're the person that they worship was a human being. He did not have any
Buddha.
magical powers.
I understand.
So,
So-
what they believe, we're born again.
I'm not sure about the details, but they don't have a magical
I like
entity
that.
they
That's
pray
better
to.
for me.
They don't believe in the
That's what I
supernatural.
deal
though.
with.
That's
They don't believe everything is just
No, they
supernatural.
believe in nature and the aspects of
Yeah,
nature
yeah.
that we don't
Good.
understand, which they might give some supernatural
Yeah, that's what I
connotations
mean.
to.
That's what I
No,
mean.
but they do not say that that supernatural thing created the universe, created human. Right.
I didn't say that.
We're
did
talking
I?
about creation now, aren't we?
I didn't say that, did I? I just
Right.
said
So you're
believe
talking
in
about
supernatural.
anybody that believes in anything outside of the physical.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with people that do that.
No, I'm saying I haven't found any group of people in history that.
I have.
Where?
Scientists.
No, I mean in history. Do you know what
Scientists have existed in history. Philosophers have been atheists and rationalists
I mean?
and materialists.
No, I mean like civilizations. Do you know what I mean? Large
Bro,
groups of people.
what would the numbers have to do with it? Just because somebody's ideas didn't get popular or they didn't force it upon a whole group of people, it's irrelevant.
There's a large
There's-
group of people who believe in science.
Yeah, and there has been throughout of history. There are people who have been materialists who have said, you know what? Why do everybody else make up all this magical crap? We have the physical world to deal with. That's all we know about. Let's get on with it. There's been people doing that for hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah. You still didn't explain the problem, right? The
What?
one-
Infinite regress?
Yeah. You know the one I just said. If I touch you, someone else will
Yeah,
touch me.
bro, the infinite regress problem. Like I
You were
said-
talking about, but you didn't explain
No,
this
because I
situation
need you to
right there.
understand why we're in that position. The infinite regress.
Okay, I understand. You've said it. Because
Are you
of
sure?
theists, yeah, and then they say we need outside entity.
Right.
All right.
yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah,
Now,
Okay. The problem is simply that religious people say something created the universe, something outside of the universe.
You're not explaining the problem, are you?
I am explaining the problem. Yeah? Religious people say something outside of the universe created the universe. Yeah?
Yeah.
So then they say that on the basis that anything that exists or anything that began to exist must have been created. Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, they say that explains the universe. Yeah, they made up this God thing. Yeah. Now we say to them, if your principle is your universal principle of truth is that something that begins to exist was created, then your God began to exist, so He was created. And then religious people turn around and say, no, you can't do
That's what
that.
I said
You
before.
can't do that to our God, because otherwise we'd have infinite regress. Yeah? Our God has to be the beginning of everything, because otherwise there'd be an infinite God behind him, another one behind him. Yeah? The thing is, you guys make the problem and then you avoid
I'm
it.
not talking about God, I'm saying, you know our existence right now.
I stop there.